Imagine finding a tiny silver coin in your change. Could be worth up hundreds or even thousands of pounds. We're diving deep into the top 3 most valuable and rare UK Elizabeth V new pence coins ever struck. From mysterious minting errors to coins pulled from circulation decades ago, these hidden treasures could be hiding in your collection right now. Stay tuned, because one on our list has shocked collectors worldwide with its jaw-dropping auction price, and it might just be sitting in your coin jar. What if I told you that a particular version of this coin, the 1968-era UK Elizabeth V new pence coin, could be worth not just hundreds or even thousands, but a jaw-dropping 10,000, 15,000, or in the right circumstances, an eye-watering 30,000 pounds? That's not fantasy. That's the real-life market for one of the rarest and most mysterious era coins in British numismatic history. To understand why the 1968 V new pence coin became so special, we need to travel back to a time of enormous change in British coinage, the lead-up to decimalization. The late 1960s was a period of preparation for one of the biggest overhauls in UK currency history. The old pounds, shillings, and pence system, which had been in place for centuries, was about to be replaced with a decimal system in 1971, but before the full changeover, the Royal Mint needed to. During the minting process, rare and unusual errors can slip through, and in some cases, those errors transform an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. With the 1968 V new pence, there are a few specific errors that make collectors go absolutely wild. The most valuable are dramatic misstrikes, where the coin is visibly off-center, showing blank metal on one side and partial designs on the other. Another highly prized variant is the wrong planchet error. That's when the coin is accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank, sometimes even one intended for a completely different denomination. This can result in a coin that's the wrong weight, color, or size, and these pieces are so rare they can command extraordinary sums at auction. There's also the double strike error, where the coin has been struck twice by the press, leading to doubled images or lettering. And then there are die errors, where the design itself is flawed, missing details, distorted shapes, or incorrect inscriptions. One famous example came up for sale at a specialist coin auction, and when the hammer fell, the final price stunned everyone in the room. What had been estimated in the low thousands shot up to over £10,000 as bidders from around the world competed for the chance to own it. Another specimen, with an even more dramatic off-center strike and near-perfect mint luster, reached an incredible £15,000. And in the rarest cases, where the coin ticks every box: first-year issue, flawless preservation, a dramatic and obvious minting error, and full authentication from a respected grading service, the value can climb to £30,000 or more. These are life-changing figures for something that once bought you a chocolate bar or a bus ticket. The history of these coins is fascinating because the 1968 issue wasn't widely hoarded at the time. People saw it as just another piece of change. So most coins were heavily circulated and showed the scratches, dents, and wear you'd expect from decades of use. That makes finding an error coin in high-grade condition even more unlikely. The legendary 1970-era UK Elizabeth V new pence coin, one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in modern British history. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so rare, so elusive, that most collectors will go their entire lives without even seeing one in person. A coin that, to the untrained eye, might look like just another small piece of British change, but to those who know, to the sharp-eyed treasure hunters, it's worth more than a brand new luxury car. I'm talking about a coin that has been known to sell for staggering. Now, the 5 new pence coin might seem humble at first glance, a familiar piece of decimal currency that came into circulation as part of Britain's switch from pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern decimal system. But in 1970, something unusual happened. This year was significant for coin collectors because it was the very last year the 5 new pence was issued with the original larger size, before later being reduced in 1990. But here's the twist: the 1975 new pence was never officially released into general circulation. Coin errors can occur in many ways: mis strikes, double strikes, off-center designs, incorrect plankets, or even mismatched dies. In 1970, during the production of these proof coins, there were extremely rare cases where a misalignment or a wrong metal blank was used. The most famous and valuable 1970-era 5 new pence coins are those struck on the wrong planchette, meaning they were minted on a blank intended for a completely different coin. In some cases, the metal composition is slightly off. The types of errors found on 1975 new pence coins vary, but the rarest and most valuable include mis-struck coins on incorrect plankets, double-struck proof coins, and those with subtle but significant die errors. A well-documented example is a 1975 new pence struck on a copper-nickel blank intended for a different denomination, giving the coin a unique tone and a slightly off-standard weight. Such a piece, in pristine condition, has been known to fetch upwards of £40,000 at auction. Then there's the matter of condition. With any collectible coin, condition is king. A rare error in poor condition might still be worth a lot, but a rare error in flawless, proof-like condition can be worth £20,000 exponentially more. Some 1970 error coins have survived in such stunning state that they almost glow under the light, with every detail of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait crisp and sharp, the reverse lion standing proud, and the mirrored fields gleaming without a scratch. When a coin like that comes up for sale, bidding wars are almost guaranteed, and prices can climb into the £60,000 range. Imagine holding a small silver-colored coin in your hand, one that at first glance looks just like any other from its time. Yet this particular piece of metal could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a house in some parts of the country, and in some cases enough to completely transform your life. We are talking about the elusive, mysterious, and incredibly valuable 1971-era UK Elizabeth V new pence coin, a coin that has stunned collectors come together. It might sound unbelievable that something so small could hold such value, but the truth is that certain coins. To truly understand why the 1971-era 5 new pence is so valuable, we have to step back to the early 1970s, a time of huge change in British currency. Just the year before, in 1970, the country had officially moved towards decimalization, replacing the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system with the new decimal system. The 5 new pence coin was introduced to replace the old shilling, keeping the same size and weight. Most people don't realize that minting errors are not simply accidents, they are products of very specific circumstances. The 1971-era 5 new pence coins are believed to have been the result of striking issues, planchette errors, and in some cases, incorrect metal compositions or off-center strikes that slip through the mint's rigorous quality control. Because the Royal Mint is known for its high standards, such errors are incredibly rare, and when they do occur, they often get caught and melted down before ever reaching the public. But a few, somehow, escaped into circulation, and these survivors are now the prized targets of serious collectors. Imagine the thrill of finding one, a coin slightly heavier or lighter than standard. A strike that is just a fraction off-center, so that part of the design spills towards the edge, or perhaps a piece struck on a blank intended for another denomination altogether. These are the features. The market for these coins has been steadily climbing, fueled by a growing awareness among collectors and the general public. In the past decade, stories have emerged of lucky individuals finding one of these coins by accident, maybe while sifting through change at the till. Maybe while sorting an old coin jar at home and selling it for life-changing sums. Auction records tell their own story, with some examples reaching over £50,000 in bidding wars, and the finest, most perfectly preserved specimens pushing into £70,000 or even £90,000. The value £50,000 to £70,000 depends on several factors: the type and visibility of the error, the coin's overall condition, and its provenance, a well-documented coin, graded by a leading authority like PCGS or NGC, with an error so striking that it could never be mistaken for a normal 5 new pence, will always fetch the highest price, £90,000.